What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Welcome to J Rich Fit's Lifestyle and Health Coaching Corner. We're on episode 39, and this is a trilogy that we're going through where it comes to mental health during this turbulent time in history. Part 2. Part 1 was more coronavirus based and how it affects the mental health and what you can do to get past that mental decline. This one is even more intense. What we're going to tackle today is the racial divide happening in America right now as we speak. That is becoming the most turbulent thing that is taking down most people's mental health and physical health. And we're going to dive into it a little bit. Like I said, for me, I'm not a statistician, so you're not going to hear a lot of stats. You're not going to hear a lot of bias or one-sidedness. I'm very open when it comes to my racial thought process. I grew up in a very my own race neighborhood, very Latin, very Polynesian neighborhood, very mixed bag. My group of friends, all mixed bags as well. Like I said, not one person in our main circle is the same race. So for myself, I feel like I'm very well versed on different cultures, different races. Like I said, I'm not a stat guy. I'm not going to sit here with stats. I'm not going to argue anybody's side. I'm just going to sit here and explain what's going on, how you yourself can handle or get well equipped with handling all this, and then also increasing your mental stability, your mental health, your physical health, and kind of get a grip on what's going on. So we're going to dive right into it. So the main thing is there's a lot of... Okay, but you know what the sad part is? It's always one side and the other, and everybody falls in between. So right now it's very white versus black, black versus white, and then everybody else in between has to pick a side, which to me makes zero sense. I don't think that you should be able to have to pick a side to be one side or the other side or this side or that side or the right side or the wrong side. We all don't live in the same cities, in the same states, in the same areas. We don't know how these areas are. Like San Bruno, the city I grew up in, it could be way different than Burlingame, which is 3 cities over, compared to even some rural states or some rural cities and so forth and so forth. So there's a huge discourse in how black people are being treated around the country, and rightfully so. I mean, the media does a horrible job at trying to bring people together. It pushes everybody away. It shows nothing but the negative, one side versus the other side, when it should be just calling out individual bad people. Newsflash to everybody, there are racist people everywhere. I bet there's quietly racist people that live on the same block as you, that have very different opinions as you do. But one thing I learned very fast with opinions, you cannot control anybody's opinion but your own. You can't even manipulate somebody's opinion once they're past a certain age, because they're going to think and feel deep down inside what they think and feel. There's nothing that you can do about it. And the faster that you can understand that, the faster you'll get to mental health and the faster you'll feel better. So I think with all this stuff, the big issue I'm seeing is everybody wants to control the other person's narrative, the other person's thought process, and be like, no, you have to feel the way I feel. You have to talk the way I talk and think the way I think, because if you don't, then you're X, Y, and Z, which could be racist or a fascist, or you hate, or there's just so many different things. You're liberal, you're Democrat, you're left, you're right, you're Republican, you're this, you're that. It's all bullshit. At the end of the day, no matter what the thought process is, you are entitled to your own. Are there some that I agree with? For sure. Are there others that I disagree with? Fuck yeah. And in my opinion, if you're somebody generated off of hate and racism, then I don't like you. I don't think that is something that you should have in you. But I'm also not stupid enough to believe that it's all sometimes lack of education. It's lack of. I was lucky. I was somebody that was able to be around multiple different races, understand, learn from them, while they also understood where I come from and learned from me. So we both had a better understanding of each other, and we grew from there. We grew a friendship. There are a lot of people that aren't that lucky on all sides, all races. There's a lot of people that only hang out with each other and they only know themselves. So what they do know about the other side is stereotypes. And stereotypes are the worst thing you can possibly be. I tell everybody, your best bet in life is be the opposite of your racist stereotype, and life is gonna move so much easier. It's gonna move so much better. People are gonna respect you so much more. If you are close to or exactly like the stereotype that your skin color is, then you're an idiot, and life is gonna be hard because you're feeding into what people think about you, what people think about your overall race or your overall color. And if you act like that stereotype, you're just feeding right into it, and you're giving people more ammo to go, see, I knew that's how they were. See, I knew that's how they were, and you fuck up. So for me, I think a stereotype is the worst thing you can possibly be, and the best thing you can do is jump away from that and be different and choose who you want to be. And whatever you feel like inside, that's what you should be like, not like somebody else or not to fit in. And for example, when I went to college and I played football, I went to a middle of America state and played there. When I got there, it was shocking. I was one of 7 recruits from California, and I was the only white one. Everybody else was black. So when I get there and I notice that I don't know anybody here, the first people I'm going to generate myself towards are the Californians. Not so much them being black, just more about them being from the same state as me and them having similar interactions with people I knew when it comes to football and when it came to what city or what state they are from, or what part of the California you're from. The native people from that middle America state did not like that. This state is 93% white. All they know is white people. So when they see a white guy interacting with black guys so comfortably, and me having a slight accent, and me having Bay Area slang and using different words and throwing peace and doing all that shit, I'm telling you right now, and I don't give a fuck what nobody says because you didn't live it. I for sure did. I was hated on more than my black teammates because I was even worse in these native middle of America state players. I'm their same skin color, but I'm accepted by the opposite skin color that they might not like because they're bred and taught to not like them, and they have no interaction with them either. They don't hang out with a lot of black guys, so they have no clue about their lifestyle, about their culture, or anything like that. For me, I grew up with every different culture, every different color, so I don't see it the same way that they see it. But what they do see is me as a sellout or somebody trying to be like a wigger or whatever the fuck. And I will tell you right now, holy shit did we get hated on. And me individually, if I threw a piece, man, people would talk shit behind my back. Coaches on the fucking football team were talking shit about how I was. And the only reason why they liked me, the only reason why they liked my teammates that were a different skin color was because we were good and we could play football and we were better than the guys that are from that state. And sadly enough, there ended up being a huge racial fight because they didn't like some of the other guys, and some of the other guys are from the Bay or from California, and they know how to talk shit with the best of them, so they're talking shit back, and we get in this huge fight. It didn't end so well for the natives of this Middle America state, but their whole idea for us to fight was to get us kicked off the football team. But it's like, man, they gave us scholarships. We're here for a reason. They're going to kick us out. But what I do know as the year went on and as we got to know each other, you see the tensions drop and you see people start getting to know each other. I will say this full-heartedly. They hated that we were from California. They hated some of my teammates' skin colors. They hated me because I was different from them. And I broke it down like this. Once I got to know them, once I got to understand them, it's all educational ignorance. They don't know any better. They haven't been. Some of my teammates never seen an ocean with their in real life. They've only seen it on TV. They've never seen a beach. They've never seen an ocean. They had these fantasies about California. If you're a Californian, you know famous people. You know Brad Pitt. You know Beyonce, and this is what they think. How am I from California supposed to go see this person all the way out this way in the middle of America and understand that at all? It's mind-boggling. It was mind-boggling for me, but it took me a while to educate myself and decide, hey, instead of constantly fighting against these guys, let me try to understand them and let me try to help them grow. And that's exactly what happened, is they got to understand us, realize that we're just the same guys as they are. We want to win football games the same way they want to win football games, and we could help that. And we came together and we won football games and we had a good time. Later, I challenged a lot of these guys. Once I was leaving school, I said, hey, if you're ever in California, if you're ever in the Bay Area, hit me up. Some of them did hit me up. Some of them, we went to the city, we partied, we had a good time. And showed them a whole different lifestyle and showed them a whole different way of living, and they loved it. And they later apologized for us even getting into a fight or them having these pre-thought processes about me and hating on me, because it was just educational ignorance, and it was the place that you're from. When I look back at it, I can't hate on them for being the way they are because they don't know any better. If there's a cannibal out in the Amazons and all they know is eating people, and me thinking that's something that's really wrong and them thinking it's something very normal, the only way that we change each other's thought process is by understanding each other and educating each other. That was the biggest message. And at the end of the day, with this racial divide going on right now, that's my best advice to everybody. Not just white people are at fault for this. I know a lot of black people, a lot of Latin people, a lot of Asian people that only hang out with each other, only hang out with the race that you're comfortable with. You need to get outside of that, and you need to understand how the other side thinks. Whatever side that you're having a hard time with, try to understand that side, educate yourself, and then from there, have a more educated thought process and how you feel about this race or that race. For example, back to football. When I played football, I tell people this all the time. I never, in the history of me from Pop Warner to college, I played defense majority of the time. When we were studying film, I never once studied the film of the defense that we're going to go play against, because I didn't play against that defense. There's never one point in time where our defense and their defense is not at the same time. The people that we always did study was the offense, the complete opposite of us. We studied them inside and out to understand every little thing to get the edge. Why you not do that in life? If you don't understand one side, or you're having a hard time on one side, why keep educating yourself on your side and what you're doing? Educate yourself on their side and what they're doing, so if an argument does happen, you're well versed in what they do, because you already know what you do. You're extremely well versed in what you do, and you just sound smarter. You look smarter. You'll make them look stupider. Your argument will be stronger. Take more time in educating yourself on whatever side is pissing you off. That's my best advice when it comes to these times going on right now. Stop going into comfort. Everybody wants to go into comfort. Comfort gets you fucking nowhere. Comfort will get you a half step closer or a half step back to where you are. Being uncomfortable, but being very much so secure with yourself, is going to get you 1,000 steps ahead and get you 1,000 steps to where you need to be. You'll never go back if you put yourself in uncomfort, but you're very much so in control of what's going on. The question that I was asked was, why is there a racial divide right now? Because a small majority of stupid people are the ones that get posterized and put all over the place. This country as a whole, at least I can explain where I come from, isn't fucking that racist or isn't openly that racist. If you live where I live and you are a true racist, where the true racist meaning I hate a race so bad that I want to hurt them or I cannot look at them, you would have to literally, the second I walk outside my door, put your head down and walk like this. Because if I walk my ass outside this door, I'm going to see 6 different races right away in the first 5 minutes. So I can't truly be the definition of or the pillar of racist if I live out this way. I know only where I'm from. I can't speak for Middle America, the South, North. I don't fucking know. I speak for where I'm from. You can speak. You can start a podcast and speak where you're from and let me know how it goes, but I can just speak where I'm at. To be the definition and true racist, it's impossible out here. If you want to be quietly racist, I always feel like this. If you're quietly racist, you quietly feel a certain way about certain people, that's on you. It's like talking shit about somebody, but being quiet about talking shit about them. If you ain't gonna say it to my fucking face, it don't matter. You can literally talk the most shit about me by yourself. I don't fucking know. It doesn't affect me. I don't think about you talking shit about me if I don't know that you're a shit talker. Until the day you say it to my face, until the day that you're bold and brash, then we can handle it. But you can talk about me, you can talk about my mom, you can talk about my girl, to yourself. And it doesn't do anything. I can't do anything about it. It doesn't affect me. Same thing with being a quiet racist. And let's get this to be known as well. This is a very hot topic, and I'd like to tackle it. You could be racist and be any skin color. You don't have to be the predominant, dominant skin color. The reason why I say that is because I grew up in a very diverse neighborhood. I was one of a handful of white families that lived in that neighborhood. And trust me, I heard some very racist shit towards my skin color because I was a white guy that was very much so more athletic than the average white guy. I could jump higher, I could run faster, I could do all these things that the normal white guy couldn't do. So when we're playing sports and you're getting dogged on by the white guy that shouldn't be doing all these things, you're going to hear a lot of shit. I didn't play sports with a lot of white guys. I played sports with a lot of other colors. Some yuppie white guy that only kicks with white guys may believe that you as a white person cannot be hated on, discriminated, or shit on. I'm going to tell you right now, for me being a middle to low or middle to poor class individual growing up, I heard a lot of it. And for people that say that it's impossible, you're fucking retarded. And you live in a glass house. I lived out in the sticks, out in the fucking, in the dirt. So to hear that is stupid. Anybody can be shitted on for their skin color. Anybody can be shitted on for what they believe in. And there's no barrier and there's nothing protecting anybody. The only thing that protects you is money. Because what you do is you have all this money and you start hanging out with just your color or just the main color that counts as green. And nobody shits on each other openly when there's a lot of green. It's all money and power driven. But yeah, to get back to it, I think the small majority of stupid people create this cataclysmic train wreck. I don't believe that, especially like I said, from where I'm from, that many people are hating on each other or trying to kill each other because of their skin color. Do I believe that in some less educated states or some less educated areas that's like that? For sure. I mean, you can go down to Atlanta, Georgia, and it's very much so divided. There's a very much strong, hey, white people here, black people here, and everybody else just figure it all out. But in more educated and more progressive, faster paced moving areas, it's not so much like that. And yeah, I would say the racial divide is created by a small majority of stupid people that decide to do stupid things. And the media loves to jump all over it, and the media loves to just put it all the way out there. I have a lot of black friends, and I've hung out with a lot of them throughout the course of me being alive. We've been pulled over by cops. They've called me after they've been pulled over by cops. They're all still alive. Nobody's ever been harassed or jumped on crazy. The only ones that have been, I hung out with a wild bunch, and a wild mixed bunch of a whole bunch of different guys. The only ones that ever got jumped on were the ones that were stupidly running, the ones that were trying to fight cops. And the cool part about it is they all are still alive today. Nobody ever got killed. I got a bunch of friends that tried to fight cops. I got a bunch of friends that stole cars. I got a bunch of friends that stole cars, crashed cars, and then ran away from cops. And with their color being the way that it is, they all should be dead right now. If you're going off of what the media says. In reality, in real life, they're all still alive. They're all still thriving. And they all learn from their mistakes. If you ask them questions, and I'm telling you right now, they're all different colors. Think of a race. One of them is that. And they're absolutely fine. They learn from their mistakes, and they realize that they were wrong. So don't allow the media to dictate what's going on everywhere. It's not going on everywhere. In other spots, I can't speak for other spots. I would not say the same things I'm saying right now. I'm speaking about for my spot and the people I know. Other spots can be extremely different, and that's why I try to say, you create your podcast, everything like that, put it out there, and hopefully I see it, and I can hear where you're coming from, because I can't speak for everybody. Who controls this negative narrative? I spoke on a little bit, the media. The media does all day, every day. The best line I've ever heard, and it was from Men in Black, is a person is smart and people are stupid. I cannot agree with that more. An individual person, I can sit here with any individual person. They could be a serial killer. They could be Mother Teresa. They could be President of the United States. They can be a 5-year-old child. If I sit there long enough with one individual person, we can come to understandings. It might not be everything, but we can find middle ground. We can find understanding with a person. I get 40 people that think the same exact way, the complete opposite of me, and I try to talk to all 40 at the same time. Those 40 people will jump all over you. You will not get a word in. And the message will be lost, and you will have wasted each other's couple hours trying to argue and change the other person's side. People as a whole are stupid as fuck. I don't believe in people as a whole. I believe in individuals. I think individuals can do a lot of good. I think masses amount of people just make things divided and stupid and argumentative, and nothing gets done. What I tell people that have the complete opposite thought process of me, and I know that there's no bend on either side, we're fundamentally both very strong on our opinions, I tell them all this, and this is what you should do. Tell them, hey, we're very much on the opposite sides. Neither of us are going to change our opinions. How about we agree to disagree and then save each other the next 2 hours of our lives getting pissed and not liking each other, and let's just go do something else. Let's go eat. Let's go watch a movie or something fun, something positive. But agree to disagree and then stop talking. If you know that there's some wiggle room, then feel free to talk, and you guys are both sound enough to where you're not going to get angry and you're educated, keep going. But if you're completely on the opposite sides and you can feel the room getting hot, agree to disagree and move the fuck on. Go take a shot together. Go eat some dinner together and get the fuck on. Don't even waste your time. But I think the media stirs people up. It stirs the masses up. It wants to divide people against each other. It wants to pit one race versus another race, and then hopefully everybody eats either one side or the other. And media just does a horrible job. I don't watch it. Have you ever watched the news and seen 4 different stories in a row that were positive? Fuck no. If you watch the news, it's always 5 horrible stories and 1 good story. There's so many good things that happen in this world that you never hear of, that you never see, because positivity doesn't sell. Negativity sells. Like I said before in the other podcast, people like to see 2 things on the highway. They like to see a really nice car, or they like to see a car accident. They don't like to see a child holding a puppy snuggled up. They like to see it for a second. Oh, that's cute. Keep driving. But the 2 things that really catch your eye is a really nice car or a really huge car accident. And I think the media does the same exact thing where they love to see all the car accidents and then they'll show you one nice car every once in a while just to kind of keep you hooked in. Because if you're just seeing negative all the time, no matter what in this racial divide time of life showed this, if you're completely negative all the time, no matter if you're for your side or against your side and you're spewing out negative shit, you will eventually mentally or physically break down to the point where you need to switch it up. We are beings that need positivity so much more than we need negativity. People that are extremely negative and people that gravitate towards negativity either die horribly or kill themselves. People that are more joyous, people that like positivity, end up having better, funner lives. But we don't want that when it comes to media. Media wants negative, and they'll sprinkle a little bit of positive every once in a while, but they want the negative because they know the negative sells, and they know people gravitate towards it. People love to argue, people love to divide. And why, as a media outlet, would I not try to divide you? Because I need to push my agenda. And they all got agendas. You, as an individual human being, every single person has an agenda. It's positive, it's negative, but you all have one. Why do you think this huge media outlet wouldn't have this major agenda that they want to slowly push onto you and they want to get you to get mad? You gotta think more. As an individual, stop with the media shit because they're just controlling your brain the whole time. People, and then you know who else controls this negative narrative? People are willing to learn about the other side. Like I talked about before. If you're unwilling to learn about your counterpart that you're not really seeing eye to eye with, you're just telling me you love the way that things are and you'd rather them just be that way and you'd rather hate on this person and you'd rather you eat yourself. You'd rather be a snake eating its own tail instead of being somebody that's trying to push towards a better day, a better future. So, and there's a lot of people like that. And the media grabs these people and loves to have these people around where it's like, I'm going to push my side. I'm never going to educate myself on the other side. And I'm going to stay here and they're going to stay there. And we're just going to keep throwing stones at each other until one of us eventually dies. And that's the thing that happens is these people die off and then they find new people that are just like them and they keep going and going and going and going because it sells. So the media grabs these people that are just negative, that don't want to educate, that don't want you to educate, and they just go from there. And that's from all sides. And if you notice when I'm talking about this whole thing, you're not going to hear me on these strong stances. I'm very much so floating. I don't go towards one color or the other or one side or the other. I'm not really that into politics either. I'm just speaking on what I've seen, what I've lived, and how to be healthy. And all these things that I'm talking about, these people are not healthy. These people die horrible deaths. They die sad deaths. They die alone because nobody wants to be around them. Nobody wants to be around these media outlets or these people that are on either side of the fence that are so negative. You end up just kind of pushing everybody away, and it's just not fun. And then, who else when it comes to this negative narrative? The rich and the ignorant. You don't have to be rich to be ignorant, and you don't have to be ignorant to be rich. You could be either one, and I feel like they're eerily close and eerily similar to me. Not all rich people are bad. Not all rich people are white. Not all rich people want to see poor people not succeed. But I feel like there are agendas in the rich that if you do come up, there's not enough room or they get freaked the fuck out. The sad part is because of past wealth and because of whatever race was the most dominant back then, there are more rich white people out there. But we neglect to look at the other rich. There are rich black, there are rich Asian, there are rich Latin, there's smaller percentages, but they are rising. Instead of us looking at that and being like, hey, let's push that and let's get more of that going, we just look at the old rich white and we throw every problem at them and we knock them down. I do believe that the rich do control these narratives and what's going on, and I do think that they're politically driven, and I do think that, and that's from all sides. Like I said, I'm not spewing this out saying one side or the other. All fucking sides. You gotta be rich to be in politics to begin with. So I've kind of been molded to not really trust people that are too rich, that are too into politics. You can be extremely rich, but just to let you know, if you're extremely rich, you probably had to do some asshole shit to get there. Unless you won just in the lottery. If you built wealth, there's some shady shit that everybody does from all colors and all sides. And for me, I just don't gravitate towards that. And I've always been kind of looking at it where we talk about race all the time. But for me personally, in the life that I've lived, it's more based on money, being rich. There's a lot of individual stories. And like I said, I'm not a stats guy, so I'm not going to pull them up. But if I had to go off the top of my head, I can think of a lot of different colors that have gotten away with a lot of crazy shit based off of being rich. Or more, like I said earlier, rich people white. Yes, so they're going to get away with more shit than everybody else will get away with. But if I had to name rich, other colored people out there, a lot of them get away with some wild shit because the biggest color that matters the most is green. And you can't tell me any different, because name an extremely wealthy rich person that gets treated the same way that you get treated. It does happen every fucking once in a while. But percentage wise, if I had to guess, you're talking about 95% of the time they do not get treated like you, and 5% of the time they do. And that 5% is based on them fucking up 20,000 times before they had to finally drop the hammer on you. So let's stop making it this racial divide and let's start looking at what it really is. The haves versus the have-nots. The haves will get away with so much more than the have-nots will. It just so happens the have-nots tend to be different colors and the haves tend to be closer to one color. And then the media collapses all over that and tricks your brain into believing what you believe in. So let's educate ourselves a little bit more. Let's unite. You'll have more in common with if you're in a middle class to low class status with somebody a different color than you. And the funny part is, us in the middle and low class, we know this shit. It's the stupid rich and the extremely poor that don't get this, where they want to just stay where they're at and they want to get their shit. Where it's like, if you're extremely rich, you get a lot of passes. There's a lot of stuff that you get away with. If you're extremely poor, same thing, a lot of passes. If you're homeless and me and you do the same crime, the likelihood of them just letting you go and them letting me go, low. Cop catches me shooting up heroin in an alley. I'm not homeless. I'm going to jail. Same cop, catches 10 bums doing heroin in an alley. He looks the other way. The same exact way that me, if I'm doing heroin or if I'm doing something illegal and I get caught, I don't have a lot of money. I go to jail. Take that rich kid. He gets caught. He's got money. Rich kid of any color. Got money. He will get bought out of jail right away. So let's not look at so much in the racial tones and the racial colors, because it's all green. And they don't want you to know that it's green. The media outlets, the negative people, the rich, the ignorant, they don't want you to know it's green. Because green, if we all knew that was the haves versus the have-nots out here, there's more have-nots than there are haves. We would come together and create something different that would help us out. The haves don't want that because there's a small percentage of them and they want to keep all this money. So they're going to create this bullshit. And I think you need to digest this more and you gotta think about this more. If you do, it's going to help out. If you don't, then we're just going to keep going in the same pattern over and over and over. Blame and racial divide and all the bullshit. So yeah, if you can tackle those three things and understand that, you'll be a little bit more up on game. Like, I don't think that you need to be so much book educated as you do life educated. All these things I'm saying, I'm not reading a book. I've learned, I've observed, I've lived them. Do more living and you'll notice that you have more answers. When you read books, you don't have a lot of answers because you haven't lived it. Even though you have all the stats don't really mean shit if you're not playing in the game. How does this affect mental health? Creates hate. Hate is negative. That's why I was telling you, when people on social media post so many negative things, you'll notice after 2-3 weeks they switch the whole thing up. There was a guy that on social media that I had to reach out to, that I even told him, I was like, hey, listen, you're a friend of a friend and I like you, but if you keep putting this hate out here, if I ever fucking see you, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass, because I don't like people that push hate on either side. And if you're going to push hate, expect it to find you. That's the big issue, is people push hate on social media and don't realize that in reality it will find you, and there's gonna be a negative repercussion because you put that negative shit out there. So it creates hate. And even with that guy, 3 weeks after all this shit, he started posting regular stuff. And it's like, if you were so adamant, you felt so strongly about your position, you should have just kept going with it. But you could tell that hate just gets at you. Even Matt Barnes, educated guy, very on his shit. Even him in a podcast that he was a guest of said, man, I had to stop doing it. I was posting so much shit, it was getting to me. Even though it was pushing his narrative and pushing what he believed in, it was still getting to him to where he had to stop. He had to get off of social media. And that is a huge mental fucking crusher, is when you have to get off of something because you know that it's doing so much damage to you. It creates doubt. There's so many people that I've been talking to that just doubt life and doubt what they're going through. I've not talked to more people that have been going through so much crazy depression and doubt because everything's just collapsing on top of each other. You gotta be stronger than that. You cannot let things that you can't control affect your mood and give you doubt. Only thing that you should be doubting is yourself if you're in that space. And in my opinion, you should really never doubt yourself. But people do. We encounter doubt. I live it, but at the same time, it's not always true. You should never doubt yourself is a very ignorant statement. We doubt ourselves all day, every day. In little ways, not huge ways, in the ways that people want you to think, oh, it has to be this huge way. In little ways. We doubt ourselves with, if we have a little bit of gas in the tank, shit, it might not make it to the gas station. That's doubt. We doubt ourselves with, man, maybe I shouldn't eat this donut, but man, this donut's so good, but I know what this donut's gonna do to me, fuck, I'm gonna eat it. Well, that's doubt. There's a lot of ways that we doubt ourselves on a daily basis. So I'm not gonna say don't doubt yourself. I'm just going to say, in big situations, always believe in yourself. You can still doubt yourself and believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself more than you doubt yourself. Doubt yourself for a half second and then believe in yourself and just go and say fuck it. So I think that it creates a lot of doubt. And it just creates a lot of division. And division is the worst thing you do if you're trying to come together. Be a football team and be super divided. You're going to lose every fucking game. Be a football team and be very united. You're probably going to win the championship. If you have a bunch of skilled players all in the same fucking rhythm, you're going to win. If you have a lot of skilled players all doing different things, aren't studying, aren't working out together, aren't doing all these things, you're going to lose. And people are going to laugh at you because you're like, how the fuck are you losing? You guys are amazing player for player, skill position football team, and you guys fucking suck. And people will lose faith in you, and they'll stop coming, and they'll stop listening to you. So the worst thing you can be is divided. The thing that you need to be is united and come together. And it's not easy. And like I said in the past, if things are super easy, you probably shouldn't do it. If things are very hard, that's what you should be doing. So divided, doubt, creating hate. Those are exactly what affects the mental health. What can you do? Strengthen your circle. Like I said just a while ago, you can only control what goes on in your life, and you could semi-control what goes on in your circle. Reaching out to people, talking to people, being very in tune with what's going on, and educating them, educating yourself, passing on knowledge. These simple things can do so well when it comes to changing the narrative. Because here's how it works. I educate myself. I gain myself up. I'm putting myself in a more positive mindset. I pass it on to my circle. My circle has sub circles. They pass that on. Their circle passes that on, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Then you're reaching a shitload of people. But the first step is you openly reaching out. You openly talking to these people. They're not going to know what the fuck is going on unless you actually say something. What else could you do? Get the fuck off of social media and TV. Those things are all fake. They're all not real. You need to get more towards reality. Go outside. Go see what the fuck is going on in your neighborhood, in your area, and then try to help that out. But media, social media, all that shit, it's a pussy man's reach to try to do something. Every pussy and every fucking fruitcake that I see that posts something so progressive and so righteous, it's the weakest move I've ever seen in my life. You're absolutely doing nothing. You're posting something that lasts for 24 hours or lasts until people aren't going to scroll all the way down and look at it no more. And then your message is done. But you do absolutely nothing in a life step to change anything. Consistency is key. And people that post you on social media, you're extremely inconsistent. And people will forget your stance. And people will forget the message that you're trying to push. If you're going to be somebody all the way. That's why you don't see me post anything about this stuff. That's not my rhythm. That's not my cadence. The only reason why I'm talking about it right now is because clients of mine are going through a mental health decline, and I felt like it was something I should speak on. But in my regular rhythm, this isn't my field. That's why I'm not stats guy, and that's why I'm not talking about it. But all these people that wanted to be so gung-ho and so hard, they all fell off. And then you showed your inconsistency, and it made you look like a clown, and it made your message look weak. You gotta be more consistent. You gotta stay on it and use it not so much in social media and TV because that's a weak move. Get the fuck outside. Go donate to your local area, but not just donate money. Money's easy as fuck. I can donate $10 to anything. I don't know if that $10 is really gonna get there. Donate your time. Donate effort. Donate touching the situation and making a real stamp and a real mark in what you're doing. And then react when it's time. Stop react. Everybody wants to react, and everybody wants to freak out because something happens. And motherfucker, get this shit. People die every 12 seconds. Somebody dies. You don't hear about them. You only hear about what people want to feed you. Educate yourself more. Get out more. Do more. And stop waiting for the next shitty story to hit the news feed so you can talk about it. If you don't know these people and you're not really investing and educating in who they really are, stop crying and stop getting an opinion for either side, the victim or the fucking villain. Yeah, victim and the villain. Yeah, whichever one. I only am going to shed a tear, and I'm only going to speak up for people I know and people I'm very well versed with. If you don't know them and you're not really well versed in them, don't speak for them. Don't cry for them. You could push the message out there, but fucking relax. Take it down a couple notches, because what ends up happening is you look fake and you look phony because a week from now you stop talking about it. If it's something that really matters to you, keep talking about it, keep being about it. But at the end of the day, stop reacting so quick and stop. That's the thing that happens. We react so quick and we don't even have the information and we look stupid. Get all the information. React when it's time and stop just being such a weak-minded, sheep-oriented culture. And at the end of the day, let's finish off like this. Strengthen your circle. Educate yourself. Understand the other side. Get better at these things. And life is going to go better. On the mental side, get away from social media, get away from TV, get away from negative people, create your own thought process, and then pass that along. And have open conversations with everybody. And don't be so bitter and so rigid that you can't understand somebody else's side. With that being said, enjoy the rest of your day. Get a hold of people, tell them that you love them. If you need something to help you with a positive boost, Jake Shakes is out there. It's my holistic smoothie. that you take either at lunch, you can take either at breakfast. It's USDA 100% organic, vegetable, fruit based, gives you good energy, keeps your digestive system clean, flushes everything out, and makes you think and feel better. And that's the idea, is think and feel better. I'm out of here. Y'all take it easy. Peace.